You got this bitch looking at me like I'm some kind of fucking monster.
What's good, everybody? Thank you all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. Y'all, we are here today. I know I'm late. I had a lot going on this week, but everything seems to be on track. But we are here today to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 14, episode 11. And the name of the episode is called Mind Your Business. Okay? Okay. Yeah, I thought that it was a very good episode. You know, I'm a sensitive Cancer, but I don't think that I cried. You know, I don't know. It was a good episode. Okay, so the episode started off with in Augusta. So as we know, Sutton, Kyle, and Garcelle are all in Augusta to meet with Sutton's mom, RHOBH. So they're visiting RHOBH. Apparently Kyle was out running and she got lost. Sutton told her to go and find Henry Street. When she run, go to Henry Street and make a turn. And apparently she went the wrong way. Okay. RHOBH told her, yeah, you went the wrong way. You almost went toward to the cemetery, you know, and she ended up telling her, girl, don't ever go running this late. And I'm thinking to myself, what's going to happen? It's things like this that are a reminder that who we are and how we are brought up does affect the way that we hear things. Because when she said this to Kyle, Kyle didn't seem disturbed. But if RHOBH would have told me, don't ever go running this late, baby, I would have thought that I was in the sundown town.
Do not want to get in trouble out here. This is Trump, everything, and the sheriff lives next door.
Don't go running this late. It was still light outside. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like it wasn't even, I don't even think that it was probably noon yet. Because they was still, well, it probably was noon because I remember her saying that they were supposed to have brunch and it was almost noon. Well, they were supposed to have breakfast and it was almost noon. So they were having brunch, okay? But RHOBH shares a little of her story to Kyle. You know, she said that she is very strong and independent. She was her father's favorite and she's a Cancer. But unlike a typical Cancer, she's not a nurturer. You know, I feel like I'm a typical Cancer. I'm really on the cusp. I could be, I am a Cancer, but I believe every other sign of mine is a Gemini, and I am like one day of Cancer. But I think I know that I'm a nurturer, and I'm very, very sensitive. I could be very, very sensitive, but for the most part, I usually get along with everybody, and usually, people. What I will say about me is people who seem very, very tough and that people can't get along with, I am a person who can get along with them. So I don't know if that's a trait that Cancers have, but I'm usually able to get along with people who most people are not able to get along with. Okay. Avi ended up coming downstairs and Avi, you know, started kind of bossing RHOBH around a little bit, you know, like you need to go change and we getting ready to do this and we getting ready to go do that. And she was like, well, I'm about to go do what? Go change for what? You know, I'm already dressed right now. I don't need to get dolled up. I'm dressed right now. Okay. Kyle and Sutton goes upstairs. Kyle got her glam squad all the way in Augusta. What does Kyle need with her glam squad in Augusta? It almost feels like that Kyle can't do nothing by herself. And we saw Kyle when she got dressed up later on in the day. I mean, and she looked cute, but I mean, it wasn't like she was going to no Oscars or nothing. I feel like that Kyle could have put that together by herself, y'all. Like, sometimes I can understand a glam squad, but we just gone taking a trip to Augusta. Okay. But they talked about Sutton's dad. Sutton said that she got a call when she was 26 years old that she needed to come home and that something was wrong with her dad and he was losing it. And she said that they ended up having to force him, like literally had to force him and put him in a car so he can go and get some help. Okay. While Kyle also told Sutton that RHOBH admitted to her that she was not a nurturer. And Sutton seems to be surprised that RHOBH shared that with Kyle. Okay. Downstairs, we have Garcelle, RHOBH, and Avi. Okay. And RHOBH and Sutton, they act just alike. Garcelle said it best. It's the apple and the tree. You know, they act just alike. Okay. They're waiting for Sutton and Kyle to come downstairs. So at this time, Garcelle is going to take her moment to talk to RHOBH. Okay. I have seen a lot of comments and stuff online when the sneak peek aired Garcelle was saying that she didn't want any ice with the drink that she was drinking. And she said, I'm tropical. I don't like any ice. I can't drink really nothing without no ice. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's room temperature water. If I'm really, really thirsty or tired, I could drink some room temperature water, but for the most part, I like mine. I put ice in everything that I got. I got one of those, this right here. What is it called? The coldest water bottle. That was the best investment that I ever made. I have been having the same bottle for like 4 years. I had a smaller one at first, and I will never forget one day I had put some water in the bottle and I had some ice in it, and I lost the bottle. I ain't found the bottle until 2 days later. And when I tell you I picked that bottle up and opened it and my ice was still in there. I've seen I've seen a couple of people on YouTube promoting the brand and they ain't reached out to me yet. But honestly and truthfully, it is a very good investment or whatever. But I love everything that I have is very, very cold. I love to drink stuff that's cold. But Reba said, well, you definitely aren't from somewhere, and everybody thought that was strange that she said that. I don't really see Reba as racist. I see Reba as a strong woman from the South, like a tough woman from the South. Not really tough, but just not really sensitive, not like a nurturer. She seems to be like, no BS type of woman. But I don't know, because she seems to be playful a little bit too. I just think that because she's from the South and she's white and the way that she speaks, I think that people automatically think that she's racist. But I don't really think that she's racist. We haven't really seen anything to make us think that she's racist. But you know how Bravo like to play with stuff and edit it. They wouldn't have been able to do it with my mama, me personally. But Garcelle and Reba is talking, and she says, Sutton is very proud of how far she has come. And I think that she would love to hear you say that you're proud of her and that you love her too. And Reba tells Garcelle, I don't think that's any of your business. And she said, look, I don't want to insult you, but you really have no clue. And Garcelle, I really don't think that this was, it really wasn't her business. But Garcelle, you said, you're right, I don't know. And I'm just coming on, speaking as a caring friend. She said, my mom passed away and I really wish there was things that I could have said to her. And she will give anything to be able to do that. And that, y'all, that is my biggest fear, to lose my mother. And I hate to say it, but, and me and my mom joke about this all the time. I think that I would be, if I lost my mother, I would probably lose my mind. And I don't want to say that. And every time I say that, she always says, she think it's funny, but she tells me all the time, no, you're not. You're going to, live your life and you're going to go on and live your life. But that is one of my biggest fears. I don't know. And it's been things Garcelle saying at this time. And I remember earlier in the season when she was watching her movie and she looked up and she said, Mom, I wish you can see this. I know that Garcelle really misses her mother. And my heart breaks for her because that is a pain that I do not want to have to feel. I do not want to have to feel. Sutton kind of gives me uptight, Sutton comes outside and she asks them, do you guys want to join us for brunch? And Reba says, no, we've only been waiting since 8:00. And she told her mom, Mom, why do you have to say things like that? And it's like, Sutton, it was only a joke, lighten up, But I don't know. I think that Sutton has issues with Reba. And I think that they probably need counseling together, because from what I've seen in this episode, I think that Sutton is putting a lot on Reba that, I think that she's very critical of Reba. And I think that she's putting a lot on Reba. I really, really do. Garcelle said that she feels like that Sutton had a relationship with her dad and she feels like there's some jealousy there. And I think that Garcelle was insinuating that there was jealousy there coming from Reba's part, but I don't see it. Again, she's there. From what I've seen on the TV screen, that is not what I'm seeing on the show. That's not what I've seen with their interactions. I think that Sutton, and I hate to say it, but we got to be real. I think that what I'm seeing with Sutton is almost like what we've seen with Lisa Ray. remember when Lisa Ray did her, it wasn't unsung, I believe it was uncensored. Lisa Ray did her uncensored, and she was closer to her father too. But she had ended up telling her mother that she had wished that it was her mother who had passed away instead of her father. And I think that I don't want to say that I think that Sutton wishes it was her father, but I do think that Sutton feels like that she lost the parent that she was closest to, and she's very critical of her mother. And we're gonna find out in a little bit. They eating grits. And they talking about like sugar grits or salt and pepper. I had both. My mom, when we was younger, my mother used to make food that was kid friendly. So when she would make grits for me and my siblings, it would be with sugar and butter. But when she made hers, it would be salt and pepper. I had both. I think that since I'm older, if I'm making them for myself, I like salt and pepper, but I don't really trip if it's sugar in them. If if somebody else's house and they got sugar in them or whatever, as long as the kitchen clean. Okay. Sutton says that she's going to take the girls to see her childhood home. She said that she had great memories there until her dad, unalived himself. Reba said that she doesn't want to go. I wondered this Sutton, because from what Avi was doing and giving the itinerary of the day, it seems like Reba didn't really know what was going on for the most part. I'm wondering, did Sutton ask Reba, did she want to go, or did she just automatically assume that Reba wanted to go? Because Sutton is, to me, a Karen. Like, everything is about Sutton and what Sutton got going on. I don't know. And Sutton seems to think that this was a traumatic experience just for her. But what makes her think that Reba finding her husband wasn't a traumatic experience for her? And I know that it was Sutton's father, but that was Reba's husband too. It's not all about Sutton. She's the child, but she's not the end all be all. She's not the end all be all. Sutton goes on in confessional, and she said that when her dad shot himself, Reba was in the kitchen. She knew that her husband was taking sleeping pills. He was taking Xanax, and he was self-medicating with alcohol. And there was a loaded gun in the house. And she said that she said that he shot himself right then and there. And she said that she has pent up resentment to Reba for that. Pent up resentment for Reba because of that. And I think that Sutton was wrong for saying that. And even with this coming out on this show and Reba seeing that, it's just certain stuff. I guess it's reality TV, but I think that Sutton is wrong for that. I've heard a comedian Richard Lewis say before, when a person commits suicide, a lot of people take that on, but ultimately it's up to that person. I think that blaming Reba instead of blaming your dad, that was nothing that she could have done. If he wanted to take himself out of here, there was nothing that she could have done. I've heard Regina King say it too about her son. There was nothing that she could have done. She said that she went to counseling with her son, that he was tired. She tried to get him all of the help that she could get for him, and he did not want to be here anymore. There's nothing you can do. I remember, I believe it was around Thanksgiving time. The clip was going around about with Mary Cosby and her son and how he didn't want to be here. And my heart broke for her, because as I've gotten older, I know that if a person wants to leave and don't want to be here anymore, there's nothing you can do. You can try to get them all of the help that they need, or you think that they need, but if they ultimately don't want to be here anymore, there's nothing you can do. And I think that with me, if my child had told me something like that, they wouldn't even be able to take a bath by themselves. I would be kicking doors down I wouldn't be able to do it. But I think that Sutton is wrong for that. And I also think that it's easy for Sutton to sit on her high horse, because she was a housewife, and all she had to do for the day is worry about her husband and her children, every want and need. That it's easy for her to sit on her high horse and judge Reba's life. But Reba was a career woman. You know what I'm saying? Trying to balance it all. She had 2 kids. She had a husband. She had a career. And she shouldn't be penalized for wanting to be a career woman and have a career and have other things going on. I don't think that she knew. I believe that she probably knew that he was taking, taking pills and stuff like that. But I don't think that she knew to that extent that, like, right at that moment, she can't. She has her own life going on where she's juggling a lot of things, and she can't be everything for everybody all the time. And I wish Sutton would have gave us more of a story, because if she was in the kitchen, it sounded like she probably was cooking. So how was she supposed to know? I think that's very wrong to do. And things like that, Sutton should have said that to a therapist, or with her mother at a therapist. And I don't think that she should have said that on reality TV, because I could see that breaking his family apart. Those are some harsh words that Sutton did. I think that RHOBH not going to the house, and she's probably stopping herself from having a nervous breakdown. I mean, I think that Sutton says that, that RHOBH hasn't tried to deal with it. And she said it was a lot that she said, but they don't really talk about it. But I think that sometimes people are saving themselves from having a nervous breakdown. I really, really do. And if she goes back to the house, it probably brings up a lot of bad memories for her, and have her in a deep state of depression herself. Sutton says that she's going to give her mother a full report, and her mother said, I don't want one. At this point, I don't know what, to me, and y'all may feel different, but I think that from the small time that we have seen RHOBH on this show, on this season, and on the last season that she was on, that RHOBH has been very clear about how she feels about Sutton's father and issues regarding his death. So for Sutton to keep on, I'm gonna give you a full report and all of this other type of stuff, it's almost like trolling to me.
I don't give a fuck what y'all saying. I don't give a fuck what y'all saying at all.
I mean, I don't. It's clear she don't want anything to do with it. So why are you can't force her to care, or you feel a different type of way. That was your father, but this was her husband. That's just how I feel. Okay. Next we got Erika Jane. She's getting her house fixed. Remember, she went over there and paid Martin. She said that she's been under a microscope since she left Tom, and people have been, watching everything that she do. And she said that some people thought that she shouldn't be able to work and make money for herself. So, Erika, I will say this, baby. I watched The Housewife and the Hustler, and I love Erika Jane. But once I saw, it's one thing to hear about victims, it's another thing to see them. And once I saw Housewife and the Hustler, and I saw that boy that had the accident at the house with his girlfriend, and she ended up passing away, and he had all of those burns on his body, Tom, I don't have any sympathy for Tom. And the last thing I read about Tom, they said that he was trying to go get evaluated to see if he'd be. I think that Tom needs to be in prison for the rest of his natural life.
You got me fucked up.
I really do, because I believe that that victim specifically needs that money for treatment that he needs, and the money is messed around, was messed over and messed around. I do think that Erika should be able to work and have money. Sometimes people go too far, but I don't blame Erika for what Tom did, and I do think that she should be able to go on with her life. Erika says that she loves the house, that the energy has changed, and she can't thank Martin enough. I think that Erika could have done something to this house for herself. She didn't have to pay Martin $37,000. But Erika strikes me as someone who people have to tell her what's cool and what's not. Like, it's not something. Her house being decorated now is not something that she truly likes, but it's something that she likes because someone is telling her this is nice, this is fashion, this is this is how your house is supposed to look. It's not. It strikes me as something that she really, really likes. It's something that somebody's telling her to do. For instance, like that boat purse that Jennifer Tilly had. I don't think that Erika would have loved that purse if it wasn't Louis Vuitton. Erika don't strike me as a girl that want to be walking around with a boat as a purse. But because it was Louis Vuitton, I think that she liked it. And with the label Louis Vuitton on there, she thinks that she has to like it. And the thing is, with the energy changing in the house, I think that Erika should have decorated the house herself Because the energy that's going to be in the house now may not be an energy that she likes because you didn't even decorate it. But she said that she's excited about life again, you know, and if she like it, I love it. Okay. Next, we got Bose. Y'all, I done got a new niece that quick. Okay. Bose is here talking to Lael. This is like, I want to say this is like my first time. We've seen Lael come on the screen before. I seen when she had her, you know, badass workshop event, Lael popped up on the screen, but I think this is the first time that we've seen her have a conversation with Lael. Lael is 15 years old. She seems to be well-spoken. Bose is telling Lael that she wants her to get to know Keely because that's really important to her. And she says that she has been dating Keely for 8 months. She said that Lael first time meeting him was in Ghana. Her and Lael was in Ghana, and he said that he was going to come over there and meet her, and it was very spontaneous. And so she had to tell her really, really quick, you know, my friend is coming here to meet me. Okay. Lael said that she was kind of raising her eyebrows. Bose say she did not kind of believe Lael. Okay. But she basically is expressing that Lael that things are moving fast between her and Keely, and it's very surprising to her. And she wants to have a child sooner rather than later, or it'll be good for her to have a child sooner rather than later. And she asks Lael how she feels about it, and Lael says that she feels good. Lael, we want you to, baby, you saying that in front of the camera, ask her who gonna be babysitting. Because with you being 15, I feel like you're gonna be at the house babysitting a lot, and you're gonna be rearing that child until you get ready to go to college. We seen that. I seen it with my daddy's other children. I seen it with I seen that my sister on my dad's side. Well, I actually got two sisters on my dad's side. Those two have the same mom, and I think I was 15 when my youngest sister was born. And so she had to be, if I'm 15, my brother and sister was 14, she had to be either 12 or 13. And so she was the baby at that house, and my sister pretty much raised that baby. Okay. And I feel like that's what usually happens when you're that much older than your sibling. You kind of end up raising them. Everything usually falls on them. But it'll probably be a different dynamic because Keely doesn't have any children. But I mean, he still has to work. And then how was that going to work if he lives in San Francisco and Bose lives in LA? But Bose say she retired. I don't know. But yeah, Lael, be very, very clear. Be like, yeah, girl, who gonna be babysitting these kids? You gonna have a nanny? What is her nanny? What is her assistant name? Is he gonna be up here watching the baby? You know, I can't be doing all that. Okay. But she said that she feels good, that she's kind of happy for her mom because their relationship will change, not in a negative way, but it's kind of evolving. And she wants her mother to be able to share that bond with someone else, meaning the sibling. Okay. Next, we are back in Augusta. Sutton says that she has a good friend who knows the current owners of the house, her childhood home, and they arranged a visit for them to be able to go to their childhood home and actually go in. Garcelle says that she's not really looking forward to this part of the trip because this was the last place that Sutton saw her dad, and she doesn't know what type of emotions are going to come up. I think that I would not be looking forward to that part because I wouldn't want to see my friend hurt, but I would kind of be expecting it. It would kind of shock me if it just happened all of a sudden and I didn't know or didn't expect the emotions to come up. You know, I don't know. Sutton kind of freaks out before they get out of the car. The closest person to me that I ever lost in my life was my maternal grandmother. She lived with us for the last years of her life. But I never even, you know, everybody just handles things so different because I never thought, it never crossed my mind not to go into the room that she slept in or anything. In fact, I still have, she had a bed set, and I still have a pillowcase from her bed set that I never throw away. Everywhere I go or everywhere I move, it's in a drawer that is a pillowcase that she had on her bed, and it has been everywhere with me. She died my freshman year of college, and it has been with me everywhere I have been since my freshman year of college. But when I went to her funeral, though, I think that I told y'all this before. When I went to her funeral, I had almost passed out, and I couldn't walk up to the casket. I just felt like that if I would have went up to that casket, I would have had a nervous breakdown, because just me walking into the church and seeing from a distance, I had almost passed out then. And it's one of the biggest regrets that I have to this day. But at the time, I just don't think that I could have handled like walking up to the casket, because again, almost walking into the church, I almost fell out. But the new owners are here with the new owner, and her daughter is here, and they were really, really sweet. You know, they let Sutton walk through the house. They told her to take as much time as she need, and they actually told her welcome home. Okay. Sutton says this is the last step in her healing journey for her father, and she wants to say goodbye because she loves her father and she missed him every day, and she was a daddy's girl. You know, that was kind of sad to hear, because it never goes away. Losing a, oh my God, don't you do it. Don't you do it. It never goes away. And it doesn't, you know, my grandmother, the saddest thing for me is that when I wake up in the morning, that was a very rough time for me. And I don't think that with me going back to college, I don't think that my parents and my siblings really know how much that affected me. It was a very dark time for me. And I remember, you know, just thinking really, really negative, like, okay, we just all here waiting for each other to die. I would think stuff like that. And I would think like, you know, there's not another day that I will wake up that I can call my grandmother. I will never hear her voice again, you know? And that was kind of sad for me. So I do feel bad for Sutton. I do want to know what Sutton's dad did for a living. I don't think that she ever told us what her dad did for a living. When I hear Sutton talk about her father, she kind of almost describes as if he was like Mr. Mom, and he was the one really rearing the children, and RHOBH was like working and was a career woman. But she said that her dad was a very good cook, that RHOBH usually just threw stuff in the oven and made fish sticks. She said that one of her favorite foods that her dad used to make is like some scrambled egg sandwiches with white bread, eggs, cheese, and mayo. Sutton, I love that meal. I love that meal, especially if you put some onions in the eggs. You know, white bread. I love white bread, eggs and cheese. Yeah, you got me. You got me. She told a story about when she was in high school. She used to pass by to leave, and her dad would always put his hand out and like give her a high five or a thumbs up. And when she was leaving this particular time, that he didn't do it, and she found that it was strange. She thought that it was strange that he didn't, you know, put his hand out or put his thumb up. And so she just grabbed his big toe. And that was the last time she saw him. That kind of reminds me of my grandmother. I'm sorry to keep, you know, doing this. I have a similar story about my grandmother. My grandmother, she used to love Diet Coke. Okay. And when I had came home after my freshman year of college, I remember my grandmother was sick. And I had bought her a Diet Coke, and she was just sleeping all day. And so I had woke her up, and I made her a Diet Coke with some ice. I put it in a glass, made her a glass of Diet Coke with some ice in it. And I woke her up and I told her, here goes some Diet Coke. And she said, okay, thank you. And so I left the house, and I came back a couple of hours later, and that Diet Coke had not been touched. And when I tell you that I knew something was wrong with my grandmother, because she didn't touch the Diet Coke, I knew something. I knew that she was really, really sick, because she loved Diet Coke. And that was during the week. But that Saturday, oh my God, this is so crazy. Honestly and truthfully, the last, I had made her a meal that Saturday. I had made her the sandwich that Sutton is talking about. I had made her an egg sandwich with cheese and mayo and white bread. And she was eating it, but she didn't finish it. And I remember a couple of hours later, I remember my mother waking my grandmother up, and my grandmother she was unresponsive. And so my mother was screaming my name to come and help her. And I was trying to give my grandmother mouth to mouth CPR. And when I put my mouth over her mouth and I started pressing her chest, some of the egg sandwich was still in her mouth. So she hadn't even ate the whole egg sandwich. I'm sorry. That might be a little bit too much. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. Sutton said that she wished she would have sat down. It was kind of selfish of her. But Sutton, you got to stop being so hard on yourself. You're being hard on your mother, and you're also being hard on yourself. There was no way that you could have known that would have been the last time that you saw your dad. There was no way that you could have known. I know that it makes sense to you in hindsight, but there was no way that you could have known that. Okay. She said that when her dad died, that she wasn't able to come into that room. She said it took her months. And, fortunately you was able to come around, but your mom, she's not wrong because she doesn't want to come into the house. She may never come around to it. And that's okay. Everybody just processes things differently and at a different pace and at a different time. She may not never want to come back in there. It may be too much for her. So she's telling Kyle and Garcelle that, did y'all hear when I told my mom I was going to give her a full report, and she said she didn't want it, and Garcelle tells her, it's probably painful for her too. That was her husband. It's probably painful for her. And Sutton says in the confessional that, RHOBH had a rough go at life, and she wants the next phase of her life to be happy and peaceful and fun, not strained, and she wants to make things right with her mom. Next, we got Bose, Dorit, and Erika. They back in Beverly Hills, darling. So the other girls, the cast is split right now. So these Bose, Dorit, and Erika, they haven't seen each other since they was at Kathy's house. They said they had a nice time at Kathy's house, and they said that Kathy had them sitting, baby. The girls were sitting. Okay? Bose is saying that, her and Keely are talking about having a baby, but they haven't said I love you to each other yet. She says that she loves him, but she wants him to say it first. Life is too complicated, Bose. If you love the man, stop playing games and tell the man that you love him. Don't make it so complicated. You got to put your, put your pride to the side for a little bit. Now, don't put it too much to the side like Melody was down there doing in Huntsville. But, put your pride to the side. If you love the man, tell the man that you love him. Tell the man that you love him. I don't really get the big fuss about who says what first. I just, I don't know. I don't get the big fuss over who says what first. If you love the man, tell the man that you love him. Okay. Now you and him can have a conversation if you tell him that you love him, and then he tells you, "Oh, I love you too." I feel like y'all gonna be, well, when did you start feeling this way? And y'all can have a conversation. But I would want someone to tell me as soon as they feel it, and I would want to do the same thing too. Bose says that she probably, no. I think that Bose probably just wants to have a baby. I think that she probably just wants to have a baby. But she said that she doesn't see anything wrong with talking about marriage and a baby and the future while they build the words up to say that I love you. Girl, what? She said that she knows that he loves her. They just haven't said it.
You don't know.
You don't know that. You don't know that man loves you. I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just saying you don't know that, because everybody shows. You could think that a person loves you and they just being nice. You could have a crush on somebody and you being nice to them and they being nice to you, and you could be reading everything wrong. You don't know that. Okay, that's why you got to tell him and ask him, or let him tell you. And if he tells you that, don't even, you know what I'm saying? With him telling you that doesn't mean that it's true. Okay? Dorit tell us that she's supposed to put PK. Y'all, I love, Dorit is my girl this season. I like Dorit. I'm so tired of hearing about PK every episode. Every episode, Dorit. I know you're going to, the thing is, I know Dorit about to give us this every episode of PK story every episode, because I'm telling you, some of y'all didn't watch the show. Dorit gave us a robbery, talked about the robbery for the whole season, and then started the next season talking about the robbery again. She did, okay? She said that they was talking like they was friends. She said that she told him, she needs him to slow down a little bit just so they can just so they can communicate. And she said that they can't be at war and the kids be okay. But he can't tell you that you're going to be responsible for the mortgage and y'all going to end up homeless and the kids going to be okay either. The kids not going to be okay if you can't pay the bills over there. You can't pay the mortgage. And they said that your house was in pre-foreclosure and that you was 4 months behind on your rent or your mortgage. The kids can't be okay with that going on either if y'all gonna be homeless. Okay? Bose tells her straight up, this is about you and not the kids.
Exactly.
You want him to slow down so you can catch your breath. And Dorit says that catching her breath. No, that Dorit says catching her breath is about the kids. Dorit says that the conversation was better than she thought. Bose says that she feel like it's a trick. Dorit says, no, I can guarantee you that he's not that person. That was PK raging. Erika says that PK is ruthless. And I think that is the perfect words to describe PK. I have been watching this show since its first season, and that is the word that I would use to describe PK is ruthless. Okay? Erika says that he's ruthless at business and he will be ruthless with this divorce, and I do believe so. Bose tells Dorit that the art of war is to calm you down so you don't act, so that he can have the upper hand. And Dorit, you know that. Dorit knows that. Dorit just doesn't want to get a divorce. You know, I think that Dorit just really doesn't want to get a divorce. I do believe that they are really going through it. I do believe that they are breaking up, but I believe that it looks strange to people on the show because Dorit does not want to she doesn't want to get a divorce. She doesn't want to be and it's so crazy because it seems like from the outside looking in, what we see on the show, it seems like you're a single mother now because PK is never around. So it already seems like that you live in a life that you don't want to live. But I think that it's to some people, as long as they can put up the facade or in their mind have it going, have the facade going on, they're okay. But I don't think that Dorit wants to get a divorce. And I think that she doesn't want to get a divorce. And I believe that both called it absolutely correct. This is not you catching your breath. You're trying to catch your breath. It's not about the kids. It's about you. I really do believe that. The kids don't even know that he ain't there. I mean, they know that he ain't there, but it's not like they missing him asking where is daddy. They know who is there with them all the time. Okay? Bose says that if you're cornered, you're going to strike like any animal. And he's afraid of how smart you are. And Erika says that he's calming you down so he can run the bases on you. And Bose basically says, just keep your eyes open. And if you don't keep your eyes open, you will have the shorter end of the stick. Don't be a victim. Don't stand still and wait.
Stand up! Stand up!
And Dorit asks them, do you think this is a game?
Yes.
Yes. And they both say, girl, yes, and you need to wake up. That right there with me, Dorit, do you think this is a game? This man about to run circles around you. I see it. You still got on your rose-colored glasses, like they told you last week. You still got on your rose-colored glasses, okay? Kyle is FaceTiming Kathy. Kyle is back in Augusta. She's FaceTiming Kathy. She said that Mo and Portia are going to Europe, that they're going to go and pick up Portia's best friend, and that they're going to be dropping her off with a guided to a chaperone, and then he's going to go off to Switzerland for 4 days, and then he's going to go meet PK in Saint Tropez.
Come again?
Portia is going, well, the whole time you've been saying that Portia and PK is going to Europe, I'm thinking that they having a father-daughter trip, and they was going by themselves, and he was going to be there with her in Europe. She's going to, do you not know about Natalie Holloway? Absolutely not. She will not be going to Europe by herself with a guided to a chaperone. It was a guided to a chaperone down there with Natalie Holloway. Absolutely not. She would not be at 16. I believe Natalie was 18. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. At least one of the sisters can go with her. Y'all got enough money where one of the sisters can go with her. Who was it? It's Farrah. Sophia can go. Sophia should be able to go on a trip with her. Sophia ain't really selling no houses and stuff like that. Okay, the other daughter, she engaged to get married. Sophia can go with her down there to San Tropez, and Farrah is single too. Farrah can go down there with her to not San Tropez. Farrah can go down there with her to Europe. She should not be going to with no guided to a chaperone anywhere unless if she was going down there with her best friend's parent. Absolutely not. So this Kyle, the girl is too young, mama. Okay. Kyle got a new confessional look. Kyle and her face, she look good. That face, the face look. How old is Kyle? 50 something. Kyle, the face, Kyle 55. The face look about 45, but them arms look about 82. Kyle, I don't think that Kyle body, the outfit, the shape of it and everything is big. Kyle arms are so small and they so old looking. You know, the arms look old and they wrinkled up. Girl, the arms look bad. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Now Sutton, she's checking on her grocery list. She's making crab cakes and she's making her dad recipe. Sutton has a new line now called the Sutton Green Line. Sutton store basically got shut down, child. Sutton trying to say that the store didn't get shut down. Listen, it was a police sign in there in West Hollywood. The store got shut down. She was saying that you can come by appointment only, and now you can order the stuff online. Sutton, listen, it was a fancy way of saying that the store got shut down. Okay, but she said that she's coming out with Sutton Green Line. It's a series of capsules. Sutton says that she wants acceptance from her mother, that she has always been a career woman and she's proud of her and she wants it reciprocated. I think that Sutton is jealous of what we see with Sutton going on right now. I think that Sutton is jealous of Christian. So she tells her mother, she tried to tell her mother that, you know, that each item has its code. It's complicated and intense, and each code goes to London and then it ships out from Houston, and it's not easy. RHOBH says that it reminds her of ground beef. Like it says made in the USA, but it's really made in Cuba. Sutton, uptight and upset. You know, she said, I don't care what they are and where they are made. I'm saving these things from going to the landmine. And it's not like ground beef. She was really, really agitated. It seems like RHOBH can't even like joke with her. Sutton does have some pent up resentment with her mother, and I don't think that is anything RHOBH is doing. I think it's all coming from Sutton. We're gonna talk about it in a minute. Sutton had talked to her brother John Clark, and Sutton tells her mother that she talked to her brother John Clark. I wish we would have seen more of John Clark. Okay, I wish we would have been able to see how Sutton interacts with John Clark and more of John Clark. Usually, when we see housewives and stuff like that, I like to see them with their siblings. I don't know. For me, I like to see them with their siblings. She said that she told John Clark that mom doesn't understand what she does, and she doesn't know if she's proud of her at all. And RHOBH looked at her like, "Girl, what?" And RHOBH tell her, "I don't understand that. Why would you think I would not be proud of you?" And Sutton says, "Because you don't say it." And RHOBH says, "I don't need to." I think that what Sutton is going through is that what we've seen on these shows with some of the women, because all of them have not been married to powerful men or men with means. I think that it was the same thing that we saw with Monique. They basically almost had to take a back seat to their husband, and they were taking a back seat to their husbands for so long that they now needed constant validation from everyone to prove that they were more than a housewife. You know, I'm more than a housewife, and I'm more than a woman who was just, you know, laying at home, taking care of the kids and getting a check. To some women, you know, I feel like that Monique was okay with that. But once she got on Real Housewives of Potomac, those girls kind of played her out of position and talked down to her because of that. But all of those girls wanted that. Giselle was Monique. She probably didn't have as much money. You know, I don't think that Jamal Bryant had as much money as Chris did, but she was really a stay-at-home wife, first lady of a church. She wasn't really working like that. You know, Robin probably the same thing. Those girls really wanted the lifestyle that Monique had and played her out of her position. Now, when Monique then got on the show, she was trying to prove to the women that she was more than a housewife, and I want to open up this business and open that business. And then she was around there tired, getting drunk, running off the freeway and stuff. I mean, running into the mediums and stuff on the road. You know, Karen seems to be okay with being a housewife and raising the kids and while Ray stuff was at work. But some women, you know, they now need constant validation. And I think that everyone thinks that the lifestyle is easy because of the money and not having to go to work and just being there for everybody everybody just being at home, not really doing anything. Well, I think that people think that they're not doing anything, but I do think that being a housewife could be a very, very hard job because I think that people are expecting you to do, to be waiting on their every beck and call. But I don't think it's easy. And I think that it can do a number on your self-esteem. And I think that is what Sutton is going through. From my opinion, from what I'm observing, I think that is what Sutton is going through. And I can definitely understand and sympathize with her with that. But on the same token, you can't be insecure about it and then throwing it in other people's faces. She threw it in Kyle's face last year. My husband was powerful. Your man just sell houses. And we see that she's going to say it to somebody later on this season. I believe it's going to be Dorit. But she's going to be telling Dorit, I think my wallet is big. Pick somebody your wage. Or who wallet, who has lesser than you. Do you think you're better than her? And she said, my wallet, I think my wallet is. But you only got your money because of John Clark. I mean, because of your husband, because of Christian. And so it's like, on one end, you resent Christian because you had to take a back seat to him for so long, but then you're throwing it in other people's faces. It can't be both. But Sutton tell her mother, maybe I need for you to, and Reba says, I'm proud of you. I just think that it's so trite and inconsequential and it's overused. And she said, I think that you got to this point because I was a working professional woman and that got impressed on you and you have became me. Sutton says that, yeah, but I want to stay home with the kids and you gave me grief about it. Okay. And she also tells him, I don't think that it's right to tell your kids that you love them, that you're proud of them. And Reba says, I thought about it because it seems to be an issue with you and some of your friends, Garcelle. And she basically said her, I was raised post World War II. And in those days, nobody never told me I was pretty. It didn't really matter to me if I was pretty or ugly. I just had to keep moving forward. And in those days, mothers put their babies in the cribs and let them cry. And Sutton says, well, I guess if it's trite for you, I don't want to make you do anything that you don't feel you need, that you don't want to do. I don't want to make you do anything that you don't feel that you need to do. And, Reba says, thank you for that. But she tells her mom, I'm having a fashion show for my capsules and it's a big deal to me. And I know that you don't like to travel, but it would be great if you would come and support me. And Reba says, I don't mind traveling at all. I could come to California. And Sutton says, that would speak volumes to me. And she says, as long as I don't have to sleep in Philip's room. What is going on with Philip? Is Philip I know Sutton kid's name. I just don't know him in order. Is Philip the oldest son or the youngest son? I don't know. Which one is Philip? Okay. Sutton says that, I want us to be better. And Reba says we can do better. And Sutton says, I have hope in our relationship going forward. And she says that I want to be a better daughter. And Reba says, and a friend. I think that everybody thinks that Reba is tough. I don't really see that. I think that we're so used to women being these soft, nurturing women. But I do think that there are, different aspects to all different women. All women are not the same. I don't really see her as tough. She was, telling jokes and stuff. I just don't. She's just, like she said, she's not very nurturing, but she was telling jokes. She seemed fun. To me, she do. To me, she do, y'all. But, y'all, that was the episode. Oh, I can't believe I've been talking for almost 50 minutes, but thank y'all so much for coming here with the review. Y'all, let me know what y'all think. And please like the video for me, y'all. Please like the video for me, but let me know what y'all think. I really like Reba. I want more of Reba. And I'm kind of liking a trip to Augusta. It seemed like they was having a party over there at Sutton's house that we see. I wanted to see, I know that we've seen Sutton's house or whatever, but I wanted to see some of Sutton's friends, what they're doing in life. I wanted to see Sutton's, brother. I want to see her nephews and nieces if she have any. What type of aunt is that? I'm pretty sure she's a good aunt. She seems to be a good friend to Garcelle on the show. So I wish that we were able to see more of Sutton's life outside of Reba. I wish that we would have been seeing more of her childhood and more of her family life. But y'all, that was the episode. Again, thank y'all for being here, y'all. I appreciate the love and support, and I will see y'all later. Adios.